Welcome back. I need to tell you something that's been keeping me up at night, and I'm not talking about some random conspiracy theory. I'm talking about documented facts, government responses, scientific observations that simply don't add up. On December 31st, 2025, while most people were celebrating New Year's Eve, the Central Intelligence Agency dropped a response that almost everyone overlooked. They classified an object from another star system, not just any classification. We're talking about the same legal framework they reserve for nuclear weapons and sensitive military operations, the kind of secrecy that forces you to wonder what exactly they're protecting in the darkness between the stars. Welcome to the cosmic unknown. Today we're diving deep into the mystery of 3I Atlas, the third confirmed interstellar visitor to pass through our solar system and the first one that the world's most powerful intelligence agency decided was too sensitive for public disclosure. Let me begin with what we know for certain, because the established facts alone are deeply unsettling. 3I Atlas isn't the first visitor from beyond our solar system. In October 2017, we detected 1I Oumuamua, that strange, cigar-shaped object that accelerated in ways pure gravity couldn't fully account for. Then, in August 2019 came 2I Borisov, which appeared far more conventional, resembling a typical solar system comet, so many people relaxed. But 3I Atlas is different. This one prompted the CIA to invoke national security protocols. Here's what disturbs me most. These objects aren't ordinary passing asteroids. They follow hyperbolic trajectories, open paths that mean they originated elsewhere in the galaxy. They were not born in our system. They're genuine visitors, travelers from the interstellar void. And now one of them has become, effectively, a state secret. When 3I Atlas was first discovered, astronomers described it as a comet, frozen remnants ejected from another star system, standard cosmic debris, nothing alarming. But as months passed and more observations accumulated, anomalies began to emerge, and that's when the institutions responsible for transparency started going quiet. Let me walk you through the key anomalies, because this is precisely where the official narrative begins to fracture. First, the chemical composition. In December 2025, the Very Large Telescope in Chile trained its spectrographs on 3I Atlas. Spectroscopy breaks light into its component wavelengths to identify elements and molecules. They detected atomic nickel. That may not sound dramatic at first, but consider this. Typical comets contain water ice, carbon dioxide, perhaps some organics. When nickel appears, it is usually bound in minerals. Free atomic nickel, individual atoms floating in the coma, normally requires extreme heat close to the sun to dissociate molecular bonds. 3I Atlas was nowhere near that proximity when the detection occurred, so where did this atomic nickel originate? What makes the finding even more peculiar is that nickel forms the basis of high-performance aerospace superalloys, Inconel, Hastelloy, Waspalloy, materials engineered to endure extreme temperatures, corrosion, and the harsh conditions of space travel. I'm not claiming 3I Atlas is literally a spacecraft. I'm simply pointing out that the chemistry deviates from expectations for a natural comet. When observations don't fit established models, we must ask what process could produce such a signature and why the agencies with the clearest view aren't addressing these questions openly. The second anomaly is even more striking. The James Webb Space Telescope measured the carbon dioxide to water ratio in 3I Atlas and obtained a value of 7.6. For context, solar system comets typically show ratios well below 1, occasionally reaching 2 under unusual formation conditions. A ratio of 7.6 is 760% higher than the norm, not a minor variation, but a fundamental compositional difference that demands explanation. While it's possible a star system richer in carbon could produce such ice chemistry, the deviation is extreme. When combined with the nickel finding, a pattern begins to form. Each anomaly might be explainable individually, but together they create unease, suggesting we may be encountering something beyond our prior experience. Then there is the trajectory issue. Orbital mechanics are among the most reliable branches of physics. We predict paths years ahead with extraordinary accuracy using Newton's laws refined by Einstein. Yet 3I Atlas is not following predictions perfectly. It exhibits subtle non-gravitational accelerations that cannot be entirely attributed to known solar system bodies. Some researchers attribute this to outgassing, ice turning to gas and providing thrust, a phenomenon observed in other comets. But the scale and precision of the deviations raise questions. More troubling still, 3I Atlas is approaching Jupiter, not merely in a general direction, but toward the planet's hill sphere, the region where Jupiter's gravity dominates. The geometry resembles the gravity assist maneuvers we deliberately execute with spacecraft, targeting specific points in a giant planet's gravitational field to alter course and gain velocity. It appears calculated. Skeptics will say coincidence is possible. Over cosmic timescales, random objects can mimic planned paths by chance. The universe is ancient. Countless bodies have traversed our system. Statistically, some will approach Jupiter in ways that look intentional. But when does coincidence stretch too far? Chemical anomalies, compositional extremes, trajectory adjustments, each potentially natural alone, yet collectively they strain probability. And that's when institutions grow cautious, that's when the CIA becomes involved. Now we reach the element that truly haunts me, the institutional response. In late 2025, NASA's MAVEN spacecraft, orbiting Mars since 2014, was ideally positioned to observe 3I Atlas during its passage near the planet. MAVEN could have delivered high-resolution imagery, detailed spectroscopy, our best chance for close-in data. Then MAVEN went silent. NASA attributed the loss to a technical issue, possibly solar-related. Telemetry ceased abruptly. One moment routine data from Mars orbit, the next, nothing. What troubles me is the timing. Solar activity is monitored continuously by a global network. No major flares or coronal mass ejections align with the failure date. Localized effects are possible, the sun is chaotic, but the coincidence of losing our optimal platform exactly when 3I Atlas was in view is striking. That observation window is gone forever. Any data MAVEN might have captured is either lost or sequestered. This brings us directly to the CIA's action. On December 31, 2025, researcher John Greenwald submitted a FOIA request for records related to 3I Atlas. Greenwald has a long history of such requests. The CIA's reply carried reference number F22600000231 and consisted of the GLOMAR response, neither confirm nor deny the existence of records. The GLOMAR invocation, named after the CIA's Hughes GLOMAR Explorer used in a Cold War submarine recovery, means that even acknowledging whether files exist would compromise classified information. It is the highest level of official silence, the same mechanism applied to nuclear programs, covert operations, and critical intelligence sources. Consider what that implies. If 3I Atlas were merely an astronomical curiosity, the agency could state no responsive records exist or release routine scientific material. Instead, they cannot even admit interest. Citing Executive Order 13526, Section 3.6a, the National Security Act of 1947 and the CIA Act of 1949, they frame this as protection of sources and methods, the language of espionage, not astronomy. Revealing interest would, in their view, damage national security. What could justify treating an interstellar object with such secrecy? If it is only a comet with odd chemistry, no sources or methods require shielding. Telescopes observe openly, data is shared. But if the information derives from the object itself, if signals, patterns, or structures indicate artificiality, then the GLOMAR response becomes logical. Confirming records of an extraterrestrial craft would upend civilization overnight. The CIA's mandate is threat assessment and national interest protection, not scientific disclosure. If they perceive potential for societal disruption, silence and classification are predictable responses. While official channels remain closed, amateur astronomers continue observing. Multiple independent reports describe Three-Eye Atlas's tail as unusual. Collimated features, narrow, coherent streams that maintain focus over distance rather than diffusing as expected from normal outgassing. Standard cometary tails, dust pushed by radiation pressure, ion tails guided by solar wind magnetic fields, point away from the sun. These appear more jet-like, directed, resembling propulsion exhaust. Atmospheric effects, processing artifacts, and observational limits must be considered, yet consistent reports from different sites, instruments, and software warrant notice. Verification is hindered because professional-grade data is either unavailable due to MAVEN's failure or restricted. NASA releases low-resolution images and statements describing Three-Eye Atlas as a typical interstellar comet, nothing extraordinary. Meanwhile, the CIA erects a legal barrier around related records. This asymmetry creates a near-impossible environment for independent analysis. Enough fragments to sense anomalies, but insufficient comprehensive data to resolve them. That is how narratives are controlled. Provide partial information to placate curiosity while withholding what enables firm conclusions. Context sharpens the picture. Of 3 confirmed interstellar objects, 2 have provoked major unresolved controversies. Oumuamua displayed unexplained non-gravitational acceleration and extreme elongation without coma or tail. 2I Borisov reassured observers by behaving conventionally. Three-Eye Atlas merges traits from both cometary activity with anomalous chemistry, trajectory adjustments, and a targeted approach to Jupiter, while adding new puzzles. 2 of 3 interstellar visitors exhibit deep anomalies. Either the interstellar population is far stranger than anticipated, shaped by exotic stellar environments, or something else is at play, something that challenges assumptions about the galaxy. The scientific method demands transparency. Observe, share, verify, debate, refine. That cycle falters when critical data is classified. Without access to full observations, independent verification stalls. We speculate on fragments while others hold the complete dataset. The CIA's GLOMAR response signals they possess something they deem too sensitive to acknowledge. Whether protecting observational capabilities, intercepted signals, or conclusions about artificiality, the classification itself is revealing. As Three-Eye Atlas continues toward Jupiter, questions accumulate while answers remain vaulted. Chemical signatures deviate from known comets. Trajectory suggests possible maneuvering. Our prime observation asset failed at the decisive moment. The CIA invokes espionage-level protections. Each piece admits conventional explanations: exotic formation, cosmic chance, undetected solar effects, method safeguarding. Yet collectively, the pattern resists dismissal. Something unusual is unfolding, and trusted institutions are choosing legal silence over scientific openness. I've studied these topics long enough to recognize that the universe repeatedly surprises us. What appears impossible often proves natural once understood. Pulsars once mistaken for alien beacons, gamma-ray bursts once inexplicable. Three-Eye Atlas may expand our knowledge of interstellar objects in similar fashion, or it may represent something more profound. Without full data access, no one outside classified circles can say definitively. That information asymmetry is the core issue. That is why this matters. Three-Eye Atlas is out there now, transiting our system toward Jupiter. Amateurs track it with available equipment. Professionals work with limited public data. Somewhere in secure databases, the complete view exists. The question is whether we will ever see it, or whether this visitor remains shielded by national security classifications, another mystery deemed too sensitive for public understanding. I believe we deserve better. We deserve transparency about what enters our solar system. This is not a foreign military site or classified weapons program. It is an object visible from Earth, yet institutions have decided otherwise. We're left piecing fragments, wondering whether silence protects us or controls us. What do you think is happening with 3I Atlas? Is this prudent caution safeguarding observational methods, or does it point to something that would reshape our cosmic perspective? Is it an extreme natural object or the first confirmed artificial visitor? Is the CIA shielding capabilities or conclusions? Drop your thoughts in the comments. These discussions sustain the pursuit of truth when official channels close. If you want to follow these unfolding cosmic mysteries, subscribe and like the video. It helps reach others who deserve to know what's transiting overhead. For deeper support of independent investigation into classified subjects, consider becoming a member. Every contribution keeps us digging into questions authorities prefer remain unasked. Until next time, keep looking up, keep questioning, keep pressing for transparency from institutions that claim to serve the public while withholding what the public has a right to understand. The truth exists. Eventually, it surfaces, one way or another. The only uncertainty is whether it will be shared openly or forced into the light. Clear skies,